So guys and girls, the rumors are true. We need to rethink and redefine risk reward. Because it is one of the most common subjects raised by traders. I've gotten that in my comments all the time, which is why I'm making this video. Now, what happens is that it's often treated as if choosing the correct ratio for your strategy, 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, or higher, is going to be your key success. And the assumption is that profitability depends on setting the right relationship between potential gain and potential loss. Now, in practice, this assumption leads many traders to focus on the wrong element of the process because that just isn't it. And so the relationship between risk and reward is not fixed. It depends entirely on the strategy being used and on the conditions of the market in which it is applied. So a scalping approach designed to capture small and frequent price movements will often work within a framework close to 1 to 1. Whereas a swing approach, where fewer trades are taken and positions are held longer, may require ratios of 1 to 3 or greater. And neither approach is inherently superior. The appropriate ratio is determined not by personal preference, but by the statistical structure of the system and the characteristics of the market. But beyond this, there's actually a deeper problem with focusing on ratios. You cannot train it as a skill. A trader cannot practice risk reward. It is not a skill. It is just simply the outcome produced by the placement of entries, stops, and targets. Adjusting the ratio on paper does not make a trader more consistent in the markets. And what creates consistency are the skills that can be developed through repetition and discipline, execution, patience, risk management, and review. And execution itself can be strengthened by learning to act only when the rules are satisfied, not when anticipation tempts you early on. Now, patience can be built by learning to remain inactive for hours or even days while you wait for setups to complete their sequence. Risk management can be applied by maintaining consistent sizing and never exceeding predefined exposure. Review can be refined by journaling, analyzing errors, and improving decision-making over time. These variables are controllable, and they directly affect results. Your risk reward, on the other hand, has no such levers. Traders who make the centerpiece of their focus are misdirecting their energy towards something that you cannot influence directly. The result is going to always be frustration. They debate with what ratio is the best, while their real obstacles, impatience, inconsistent execution, poor record keeping, remain undressed. What we have to understand about the things we need to fix, if we take a look at something like risk reward, or we look at entries, or we look at all these other variables, and we think, is that something that will make a difference if I make mistakes? Okay, if you are not able to be at the chart to take advantage of the risk reward, it is not something that you can work on. And complicating this further is the fact that risk reward does not function in isolation. It interacts with every other variable, such as win rate, trade frequency, and position sizing. A trader with a 40% win rate may succeed with a ratio of 1 to 3, while a trader with a 70% win rate may perform well with a 1 to 1. The ratio alone does not determine profitability. It is one component of a larger statistical framework. And to emphasize it without accounting for these related elements is to distort the picture of what produces consistent returns. And so the conclusion is clear. Risk reward is not the primary determinant of trading success. It is a byproduct of a method and of behavior. Traders cannot dictate what ratio the market will offer them on any given setup, but they can dictate how they prepare, how they wait, and how they execute. And so profitability is going to arise from mastering one of these or all of these controllable inputs, and that's the key, control. And once they are stable, the risk-reward profile of a strategy can be measured accurately and applied with confidence. Without them, without being disciplined, without your patience, without your consistency, no choice of ratio has any significance whatsoever.